Okay, first of all, a shout out to this song, Build a Boat. Forgive me for not knowing the name of the artist. This artist was just plugging his new song, talking about the backstory like a week ago. I should totally remember who it is, but it is one of my favorite new songs. Just look up Build a Boat. But anyway, what I wanted to say is, when I was an atheist, as a teenager and young woman, especially in my early teenage years when I was really heavily searching the Bible, looking for contradictions and trying to prove the hypocrisy of Christianity, I really believed what I had been told about the Christian faith is for weak people who need a way out, who need a crutch, who need something to lean on. And now that I've been a Christian for about 8 years or so, I'm looking back on that atheist belief that I held, that Christianity is for weak people, and I have to agree with that. I really have to agree with that. I have to look back and say, yes, Christianity is for weak people, because God is that pillar of strength that holds you up when everything inside of you is crumbling, but you're still standing tall. And in every sense, whether it's you're talking about physically, like my physical body, like I cracked and fractured my spine and had a really big nerve protrusion that was causing pretty severe sciatica, and it was painful for a while to do anything. I almost had emergency back surgery. So for me, it's quite literal. Like, God literally holds me up. It's a miracle that I stand, that I walk, that I run. Anything that I ever push, pull, lift, or carry is a miracle. But it's metaphorical as well, that God holds us up in our weakness. He promises to use the foolish to confound the wise, and to use the weak to lead the strong. God's perfection is made clear and visible when He uses somebody who is incredibly weak to do something that they wouldn't be able to do in their own strength. That's exactly what Christianity is for. You have to be weak in order for God to be strong through you, in order for you to lay down your own strength and let God be your strength. Requires weakness. It requires you to be weak, but there is obviously an innate strength in that ability to trust that you can do that. And then here's the weakness of an atheist. This is your alternative. This is what I was living back then when I came up with this belief that Christianity is for weak people. So the alternative is, you're still weak on the inside. You're still crumbling. You're still holding on to one pillar of strength for all your might. But you are your own pillar. So as an atheist, you look down on Christians as weak because God is their pillar, whereas you have to be really strong because you are your own pillar and you hold yourself up through every hard time. And I held myself up through some hard times, and my mother has held herself up through some harder times for a longer time. And the extent of the strength that she has had to come up with from the depths of her soul in order to bear some of the heavy burdens that she's had to bear is unbelievable to me. I do not understand the strength of an unbeliever anymore now that I have Jesus to help me carry my burdens. And I look back on my life from before, and this all started because Caleb said they were playing a song from 1992, not the song that just came out that was on the radio when I started, not Build a Boat, but whatever song was playing from before, they said was 1992. And I almost started crying when I realized I didn't even know Jesus in 1992. I was living in darkness in 1992. And for like decades, well, one decade before that, because I was born in 81. And like decades after that, I mean, I was in darkness for like 27 years before Jesus found me and dragged me out of that darkness. What was my point? Oh, it's unfathomable to me now how I ever survived those years without Jesus, and to look at the strength of somebody who is not relying on Jesus as their pillar of strength. I do marvel at that, and I do agree with the insulting theory that I came up with as an atheist. I no longer see it as an insult, but I still think it's true. Christians are weak, and atheists have to be their own God. So if you're a Christian and you're watching this, then have some compassion and a softer place in your heart for those that you know that don't have Jesus as their pillar of strength. For those people that are being their own pillar, being their own strength, and being their own God. Pray for them this prayer, that God would reveal to them His love and His provision and His power, that He would remove from them either their desire to be their own God or their ability to be their own God. It would be better for them if they would let go of the desire and let God be God. If they refuse to let go of the desire to be their own God, then pray that God will take away their ability to be their own God. If somebody has nothing left, if they've been stripped of everything that gives them the illusion that makes them think that they can be their own provider, let them lose everything then, if that's what it takes to find Jesus. I would rather any day take on the struggles of somebody who has literally no material possessions, no relationships, no resources. I don't care if I have nothing at all, not even a backpack full of clothes, not even a P.O. box or a friend's house to take a shower at. I would rather lose it all than try to do anything without Jesus. That is how big of a difference it makes to go from the darkness of being your own God, and how hard that is and how strong you have to be to do that, versus saying, you know what, I'm weak, I need a savior. So pray for those that you love, that they would recognize their weakness and lay down their strength and ask God to be their strength and their Lord and their Savior. And if they will not, ask God to take away their ability to provide for themselves, so that they have no choice but to realize that they are not their own provider, they are not their own God, and have to come face to face with the cold, hard truth that God is God, not me.